Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Unity Orlando. Our opening statement this morning is I celebrate the vast possibilities for my life. Let's all affirm that together. I celebrate the vast possibilities for my life. All right, let's all close our eyes, take a nice deep breath in, and let's affirm that together in the silence. And so it is. And now if you'd like to stand and join us in singing, our joy song is called Lightworkers Greeting Song. One, two, oh, wait. What if before we were born, we chose a life to live? What if before we've shared, we chose a life to give away a truth today, and hear the angels say, we all let love lead the way. We all let love lead the way. We all let love lead the way. What if before we could breathe, we chose to speak of love? What if before we could sing, we chose to be one of all the voices of an angel's choir, singing wisdom and our heart's desire, speaking absolute truth and love. Speak of absolute truth and love. Speak of absolute truth and love. What if we were God's love, living in God's love? What if the Christ in me has set my spirit free? Then I realize what of old is true. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. The Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. Very good, thank you. Be seated.
Great job, band. Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Kenny. I'm your platform speaker today. The first order of business is to let you know that Rhonda Miller passed yesterday. She had surgery earlier in the week, and things just went south from there. So yesterday afternoon, she made her transition. I was fortunately able to see her on Friday and had a chance to pray with her, and so that was a good thing. Curtis was there too. Rhonda was a member of our church still is actually, for 30 years, and a prayer chaplain for the past 7 years. And I do have more information about her in the form of a story that manifested at 5 this morning, which I think you'll probably enjoy. But let me get through the other announcements first. First of all, do we have any visitors? I think I recognize everybody in the sanctuary. Okay. Prayer chaplains are available to pray with you every Sunday after service, and we pray in the evenings at 8 p.m. So if you want to join us from wherever you are, feel free to just kind of chime in, take a few moments, and join us in prayer. The September affirmation is, "My life is in balance, in order, and all is well." I'm a prayer chaplain. Susan's a prayer chaplain. I think that's so we can take care of anyone who needs prayer after this service. Our next focus financially is on raising funds for the roof, so that's underway. We already have some money coming in. We're very grateful for that. Susan's lesson today, our speaker, our guest speaker, our own Susan Francis, is Messengers, Angels, and Guides, oh my. Okay, so Rhonda's story. It's actually a combo. It's a Ronnie story. So I woke up at 5 this morning, laying in the dark in the bedroom. I'm trying to think of what to say about Rhonda. So many things you could say about her. She's just an incredible person. And so she encouraged me to tell you the following. Rhonda had a way, by the way, when she had something serious to say, of looking at you over her glasses. And so you knew that she meant business when she did that, even if there were no words coming out of her mouth. So Rhonda's husband, Jeff, passed earlier this year, and we had his service here on Friday. And she and I didn't talk much, but I kind of went up to her before the service started, and she looked at me over the glasses with those eyes, and she said, "Well, this sucks." And being a two-time widower, I knew exactly what she meant when she said those words, and that's the only thing we spoke to each other that whole day. And so when I was awake in the bedroom, Rhonda showed up, and she said, "Guess what? It doesn't suck anymore." And she told me to tell you this. And I thought, "Rhonda, I think I'd rather talk about your quality." She said, no, you need to do this. And Ronnie is an expert at blowing out light bulbs. She's been doing that for the past 13 months, ever since she passed. And her technique is, when your hand is on the switch and you're thinking a thought, I wonder if this is what I should do, or I wonder if this is, and if you're on track and you flip that switch, the light bulb comes on and goes out. So I finally said to Rhonda, I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And I reached over to turn on the light by the nightstand. Yeah, it came on and out it went. So Ronnie has taught Rhonda how to blow out light bulbs. So pay attention in your home. If you see light bulbs going out, you know she's around. So I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, over to the band.
All right. Thank you, Paul. I think I'll go by Home Depot on the way home and get some light bulbs. Well, here's a song. It's called "Still Small Voice," and it has a bit of a indigenous American kind of melody to it. It's one of my favorites. Here it is. It's "Still Small Voice." I hear it whispering to me. Within the silence, let it be. Lifting a veil so I can see. Let it go and set it free. As we go round and round the sun, I hear the calling from the one softest whisper set me free. And now the still small voice, it helps me make a choice as life goes on and on and on and on. Now the still small voice, it drowns out all the noise. It keeps me going on and on and on. I hear you whispering to me within the silence through the trees, lifting a veil so I can see. Let it go and set it free. And now the still small voice, it helps me make a choice as life goes on and on and on and on. Now the still small voice, it drowns out all the noise. It keeps me going on and on and on, on and on.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Brian, and the whole music department. Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Welcome. I'm Susan Francis. I'm your No, I'm not your platform speaker. I'm your speaker today. Sorry, it's a habit. I'm so thrilled because I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects today. But Brian, it's so great because I wanted to pick the songs that had to do with my subject. And it's just phenomenal to go through his catalog. He has so many songs. Of course, John has them all on his iPad. And I can just flip through to find the subject matter that'll go with my talk. So today, I want to talk to you about two things that are close to my heart, angels and spirit guides. As you can see, I have a few angel talisman here. I've got my angel candle and feather holder, a little crystal angel, and I have this beautiful angel. This was actually from the Alvin Pulaski Museum. If you guys are familiar with that, that's over in Winter Park. Mr. Pulaski was mainly known as a sculptor, but he did beautiful, he has the most beautiful, this is a replica of his painting in there. You can see it in person. This doesn't do it justice. I encourage you to go see this image. It's just stunning. The blue is so rich and beautiful. So if you can, have a look at the Alvin Pulaski Museum. Okay, so I wanted to explain the difference between spirit guides and angels. And spirit guides, first of all, are part of a team that are actually assigned to you when you incarnate. And we actually all have them. You might not be aware of it. Some of you are aware, but we do have them. And they stay with you for your whole life. Although some can come and go depending on your progress. Some of them maybe have done a good job and they move on. But your main guides will stay with you for your life. They're also believed to be non-physical beings that accompany us, offer assistance, wisdom, and spiritual guidance, as well as protection. They're often considered to be souls who have actually incarnated before. and as humans, and they've chosen to help us to navigate our earthly existence because they've had the experience. Spirit guides are thought to have a deep understanding of the challenges, of course, and lessons that each person faces. And they can provide insight to us to support and help us overcome obstacles and grow spiritually. So the primary goal, as I mentioned, of spirit guides is to offer guidance and protection to those they're assigned to. They might communicate through signs like intuition, dreams, or subtle nudges to steer individuals in the right direction. Spirit guides can help people make decisions, discover their life purpose, and find inner peace. They're also there to provide comfort during times of difficulty, and also to celebrate successes with those they guide. So some of the characteristics of spirit guides are that they have unconditional love, compassion, and wisdom. They're patient. They got to be patient with me. Understanding and always willing to offer guidance without judgment. Spirit guides respect free will and will not interfere with our personal choices unless we ask for their help. They often provide gentle nudges and signs to communicate their presence and guidance subtly, although sometimes they do whack you over the head to get your attention. They can take many forms. They can be our ancestors. They can be departed loved ones, like what's happening with Paul, that Ronnie is now a guide for him. They could be spirit animals. They can be ascended masters. They can even be angels. You see, angels can serve as spirit guides as well. And if you're actually lucky to see them, they look and feel like regular people. And so it's also said that your main spirit guides have helped you over many lifetimes if you want to believe in reincarnation. Okay, so in this first slide I have, because I'm all into slides, yes, this is a quote from Michelangelo. Well, before I read this, as you know, angels have fascinated the art world for centuries. Of course, I showed you the Alban Plastic painting. And then Michelangelo once said, "I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free." I thought that was amazing. I had never seen this sculpture, and so when I was preparing for this talk, I looked it up, and to say, I was a little disappointed. He's rather small. I was expecting him to be the size of David, the beautiful sculpture that he had done before, and he's just a little candlestick making his way in the world. Anyway, okay, so on the other hand, that was spirit guides. Angels are spiritual beings from the angelic hierarchy, and they can act as divine messengers and spirit guides for us as well. We have angels, archangels, and guardian angels. Those are some of the types of angels that help humanity. And they work directly with humans. There are multiple levels of angels. Those are sometimes the lower ranking angels that work with us, and those are the ones that I'll talk about. But there are all kinds of levels of angels. As a matter of fact, in preparing for the talk, as I like to do, I read all these awesome books on angels. I've got a couple more laying here. And if you're really interested in the hierarchy of angels, this book called Ask Your Angels is a great one to learn about all of the different levels. Okay, in this next slide, let's see, Doreen Virtue, who has written extensively, she's written numerous books on angels. She says, angels exist to remind us of the beauty and divinity within ourselves, urging us to embrace our inner light. In these slides, most of the angel photos, except for the Michelangelo one, are ones that I've taken. Okay, so the role of angels in our lives is that just like spirit guides, they're available for direction, protection, and again, they embody unconditional love, compassion, and wisdom. It is not believed, though, that they have ever incarnated like the spirit guides have in any other form. They are angelic, and angels are grouped by function, like our guardian angels, archangels, helper angels, etc. In this next slide I have from the Bible, Luke 1:19, this angel is talking to Zechariah about his son-to-be, who became John the Baptist. And he says, and it said, and the angel answered him, I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I was sent to speak to you and bring you this good news. So here we have an example of an angel being a messenger. So angels work with people by communicating messages, transmitting uplifting and inspiring energies, as well as helping us to trigger our intuition. They offer nudges of guidance and keep you moving in the right direction throughout your incarnation. In this slide next, I have, it's from Hebrews 13:2. It says, do not forget to entertain strangers, for by doing so, some people have entertained angels without knowing that. I love the idea of that, right? You never know who that person you help or is, might end up helping you for all you know. Okay, so we do have a guardian angel, and that angel stepped forward at the time of your birth to support you through your life and will never leave you. So we all have a guardian angel, and it can be more than one, and they know your unique soul purpose. They know your mission and also strengths, and can guide and support you into your highest truth and, making you vibrantly thriving throughout your life. They provide a moral compass, and their love for each of us is unconditional. So no matter what you do or don't do, you're always worthy of their love, just like God loves us unconditionally. In the Bible, the angels appear, as I mentioned before, to deliver important messages. They provide comfort and offer protection. As I had quoted about the angel Gabriel, he also announced the birth of Jesus to Mary, the impending birth. And also, the angel Michael is known as a protector and warrior. In this next slide, from the Bible, in Luke 2:13-14, the angels, of course, appeared to the shepherds, and it said, and suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of heavenly hosts praising God and saying, glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among those whom he is pleased. So although angels are documented in many religions, they're not religious. They guide all humans regardless of religion, race, gender, etc. And your guardian angel can be an incredible spirit guide, an ally when you consciously cultivate a direct connection. Those who have seen angels can say, they can appear in any way, and often they can appear as we believe, seeing wings and long flowy gowns and beautiful fluffy hair and that kind of thing. But mainly they're known to be glowing or emanating light. And they may just appear as a shaft of light, a tiny dot of light, little spheres or spirals, and they can be the size of a small dot or the size of a whole galaxy. Most angels are fairly serious. They give you the straight facts. But your guardian angels, they are slightly different. They have a bit of a higher vibration. They're very bright, and they have high knowledge. And they are more laid back, more like a spirit guide. So you can be friendly with them. Sometimes angels can look like ordinary humans, so we don't recognize them. And they're free to do their own mission. And we're not interfering there. Okay, and then in this slide coming up, I have from Luke 22:43, when Jesus was praying at Mount Olives, it was said, and there appeared to him an angel from heaven strengthening him. So again, angels can give us and lift us strength when we need it most in our lives. So communicating with our angels and spirit guides, it can often occur, as I mentioned before, through feelings or signs and symbols. And I have a few common ways that they might reach you. One of them is repeated numbers. Have y'all ever seen the same number over and over and wonder, like 111, 444, or whatever? They don't have to be a duplicate number. They can be a particular number. And so we had a friend visiting about a week ago, and he's in law enforcement. And he recently told me that I was telling him about my talk, and I was talking about angel numbers, and he said that he sees the number 254 all the time. And it's everywhere for him, everything from his badge number to his address, sales receipts, clocks. He even said when he's on social media and he makes a comment, it's always comment number 254, or a like, it's number 254. So I looked up the meaning of that number for him, and it said it's believed that seeing angel number 254 repeatedly is a sign from the universe that you're on the right path towards achieving your goals. It's a reminder to stay focused and determined while also being open to change and growth. It's important to trust in the journey and have faith that everything will work out in the end. Another way they can communicate with us is through feathers. Hence, these feathers I have found all the time. I'm finding feathers, especially white ones, they say. They might show up in unexpected places. I mean, these I have found in the past year, I'm going to say. So someone's talking to me, for sure. But the idea with the feathers is they're a sign of encouragement, presence, and so you can take heart when you find these. I've even read stories of people sitting in their office chair doing their work where feathers fall from the ceiling onto their lap, so they take comfort in knowing their angels are around them. Another way they might communicate is through synchronicities, maybe meaningful coincidences, like thinking about someone and then they call you. Have you ever done that, where you're thinking about your friend and suddenly they give you a call? Or it happens to me the other way. I'll call a friend and she's like, I was just thinking of you. So, it's that cool connection. Also, maybe seeing a symbol repeatedly is a way that they might communicate with you. Also, we can be communicated through dreams and visions. Vivid dreams can provide messages and guidance. Another communication tool is intuitive nudges, gut feelings, hunches, or sudden insights that seem to come out of nowhere. That nagging feeling in your stomach. Have you ever experienced that? That kind of knowing. That's also a way they communicate. Or the hair on the back of your neck. It's also intuition that's been triggered by your spirit guides or angels. Another way might be animals, seeing specific animals repeatedly, especially those that hold significance for you. I'm sure you've encountered this. Songs and music, having a particular song or piece of music hearing at just the right moment when you're feeling down and the song comes up and reminds you to be happy, or it makes you think of someone. There's a song I always hear when I'm missing my father, and my father passed in 1996. It happens to be called Miss You. It's by a band called Everything But the Girl, and it manages to play on the radio when I'm kind of down and thinking I'm missing him. I'll hear it play on the radio or in a store. Have you ever heard music in a store and you're like, what's that song? Oh, I hear it. Or in an elevator. So it gives me reassurance that he's hearing that I'm missing him. Also, having a sense of peace, feeling sudden peace and calm during, uncertainty or distress. Another sign from the angels and guides could be objects moving, finding objects in unusual places, or notice that they've moved without explanation. I'm waiting to hear if Paul has that happen. That could be next. Also, sudden insight, experiencing sudden clarity and inspiration, maybe about a problem or a decision. And then the last one would be meditation. You might hear the angels or the guides talking to you during meditation and prayer. So I want you to think about these things, pay attention to their messages, and this will help you build a stronger connection. So remember, angels, the word angels means messenger, and you can talk to them at any time. The only thing is you have to lighten up. You don't have to be so serious. They are at a higher vibration, a higher frequency. And so in order to connect with our angels and guides, we have to move out of our ordinary mind and consciousness and move into a higher consciousness. That's why after I meditate every day, I talk to my angel Enoch. And that helps me because I've raised my vibration in order to hear him. There are lots of, as the author from this book, Hiring the Heavens, Gene Schlatter, says, lots of unemployed angels, and they are just waiting for you to ask for help. They are honored to be included in our lives. And help is available for any area of your life. You just have to ask them. You must ask with intention and trust that the universe will support you. Talk to them at any time. Share with them your feelings and concerns, as well as your joys and pleasures. And believe it or not, our guardian angel actually knows ourselves better than we do, and they love us just as we are. In this next slide, Eckhart Tolle says, angels remind us to be present in the moment, to fully embrace the beauty and joy that surrounds us. I love that because the key to life really is being in this very moment, not thinking about the future and not worrying about the past. Whenever I need help with something, for example, when I was in school and I might be taking a math test, I would always pray to the math expert angel to help me. If I couldn't remember a formula or figure out how to do something, I would pray for help. Or the map expert angel to help me find my way. Although I don't need that so much anymore because of the navigation systems. But whenever I drive anywhere, I do ask for my angels to protect me and my vehicle and those around me. Also, don't be afraid to ask for the big guns, the archangels. So a few years back, we had a hurricane that came in the night. And we had our house full of our grown children and grandchildren riding out the storm. Our house is a little bit newer than the one they were living in, and that one had like sky lights, and so they were afraid. So they came to our house, but they were still afraid to sleep upstairs where we have bedrooms, but they decided to stay downstairs on the dining room floor. So the whole dining room was full of people. And in our house, we have 2 double doors. Our front doors are glass. And those doors felt kind of weak with the air pressure. And I was so frightened that they were going to bust open and glass was going to go everywhere. So I couldn't sleep all night long. I kept getting up, pacing around the perimeter of the inside of the house, checking the doors. And my daughters could hear me and they're like, "Mom, go to sleep, go back to sleep." But I realized, wait a minute, I can ask for help. So I started to visualize Archangel Michael, who is known as the protector, standing in front of my front doors. And he normally is shown with a big spear. And I saw him holding that spear across those doors and making it stay steady and locked. And so after I did that, I felt very protected and I went back to sleep. Meanwhile, you might ask, what about the men in the house? My husband, John, he slept through the whole thing. Anyway, communicating with your angels and spirit guides can be a deeply personal and rewarding experience. Remember, building a connection takes time and patience. Trust your intuition and be open to the ways they choose to communicate with you. So I have a few, I know I've got steps left and right, but the ones you guys have and the ones that should be online are for later. But these are a few steps that you can establish and strengthen your connection. So the first one is ask for guidance maybe simply ask your angels and spirit guides for help or guidance on specific issues. As a matter of fact, they won't, as I mentioned, step into your life unless you ask for help. You might consider asking out loud, of course, if you can. If there's other people around you, they're going to go, who the heck are you talking to? Visualize them standing right in front of you, but don't be afraid to ask. Meditate. Find a quiet, comfortable space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take deep breaths and focus on calming your mind. Set an intention to connect with your guides and spirit, your angels, and ask for their presence. Be open to any sensation, thoughts, and images that come to you. Another way is journaling. Keep a journal to keep a record of any dreams or intuitive thoughts of signs you receive. I actually do that when I talk to my guardian angel, because I don't remember what he says. I'll pose a question to him, a specific question of something that's troubling me, or I might just say, what do I need to know today? And he'll tell me, and I'll write. But if you were to ask me 5 minutes later, what did you just write? I don't know. I have to go back and read it because it's like coming through me. You also might consider writing down any questions you have so that you can pose them later to your angels and spirit guides. And also, you can reflect later. Maybe when you're feeling down and out or something's troubling you, you can go back and read some of these messages that you've received. Pay attention to signs. As I mentioned before, stay aware of your surroundings. Be open to subtle messages. Also, dream work. Before you go to sleep at night, set an intention to connect through your dreams with your angels. And also perhaps have a journal nearby to record any significant messages or your dreams. You might use divination tools. You can use tarot cards, oracle cards, or pendulums to help facilitate communication. I looked yesterday to find my pendulum and I couldn't find it, but oracle cards or book can be helpful. This is a wonderful book that Ann and Tinker lent me. It's called 1111 Angel Messages, and it has a lot of them in here. And what you would do is hold the book in your hand, ask a question, flip open a page, and your answer will be there. So that's one way you can use this book as an oracle. I also happen to have, this is a pack of literally guardian angel oracle cards. And the same thing, what you would do, there's messages on the back, is hold the pack in your hand, close your eyes, ask a question, pull a card, and you have your answer. So that's can be very helpful. Let's see, and then create a sacred space. Set up a small altar or a special place in your home. Maybe put some crystals, candles, or images, and use this space for prayer, reflection, and meditation. In this next slide, Luciano de Crescenzio says one of my favorite quotes: "We are each of us angels with only one wing, and we can only fly by embracing each other." I think that's gorgeous. It really touches my heart. And then in the next slide, Dr. Wayne Dyer, he says, "Angels remind us that we are never alone and that the love of the divine is always surrounding us." Now, there are 4 types of communication that we have with our angels, and we call them the 4 clairs. Now, you might have heard some of these. The first one is called clairvoyance. And when we're clairvoyant, we actually will see pictures or auras in our mind. Clairaudience is the next one, and that is when you hear a voice either in your mind or actually outside of your mind. I get that all the time. The third one is clairsentience. That's you get information from your body, you get sensations and feelings. And then the fourth clair is claircognizance. You just know information, you just have it in you, you know what's going on. And again, sometimes that can be thought of as intuition. So in this next slide, This image, I sometimes think is what my guardian angel's doing. My guardian angel's like, what is she thinking now? Holding her head up with her hands. As John says, welcome to his world. Exactly. I actually shot that at the Bonaventure Cemetery, one of my most favorite places, because where are you going to find angels? Either in cathedrals or in cemeteries. So, but anyway, that's what I like to visualize her or him as going, what the heck is she up to now? Okay, so I have a little story to tell you about those Claires. And a few months ago, our sweet dog Jagger was still with us at the time, but he was unable to stand without help. I had to lift him up with a harness every time he needed to get up. He was able to walk still, but he couldn't stand on his own. And I was one day getting dressed one morning, and I was going to put a pair of diamond earrings in our safe because I had to go out. And I put them in my hand, and when I did, I heard this voice say to me, be careful you don't drop them. But being me, the Gemini, I had to argue and say, I'm not going to drop those earrings. What's wrong with you? So I ignored it. And I went over and got Jagger up, and then I went into my closet, put my shoes on, grabbed a sweater, and I walked out into the bedroom area, put my hand through the sweater, and I heard something fall. I opened my hand, and sure enough, there was only one earring there. And I thought, no. So I dropped down on the floor, and I'm searching around, and I'm so angry with myself because I didn't listen to that clairaudience. I didn't listen to what I knew was going to happen. So I'm searching around the floor, no luck. I got a flashlight, looking sideways. Finally, I called John in. He helped me. He said, he's the most wonderful man. He didn't say anything like, you idiot, why did you do that? He just got down and started helping. Had no luck. I was getting really upset with myself, and I said, you go do what you were doing. I'm going to relax a minute. So I kind of took a deep breath, and I thought, wait a minute. I need to ask my angels to help me. So I went back in my closet, sat on the floor, because I thought, okay, I'm thinking it's in the bedroom, but maybe I dropped it in the closet. So I'm sitting on the floor, looking, and thinking, there's shoes everywhere. I'm never going to find this. And suddenly I heard, as I'm looking, the word dog out loud, clearly. And I thought, oh, right, I lifted Jagger up first before doing anything else. So before I go any further, you have to know that Jagger was a very furry Samoyed sled dog with lots of fur. So by now, he had left the area where he was laying down, and I lifted him. He went into the foyer, and he was laying down there. So I ran to him, and I thought, oh, no, if I actually dropped my earring in his fur, I'm never going to find it. Well, because he could have walked anywhere. But I called his name, and he rolled himself over, and as he rolled, my earring just popped right out of behind his back. So I was like, oh, my gosh, I was so relieved. So, of course, this second part is remember to be grateful. So I immediately thanked my angels for helping me. And in that experience, I experienced both clairaudience and claircognizance in this situation. And in my last slide from Psalm 91:11, it said, for he will order his angels to protect you wherever you go. So I want you to remember that. If you need help, if you feel scared, unsure, remember to pray for help. There's lots of angel and guide stories around. A number of these books are all filled with that, just stories of people who've had experiences with angels. And I want to read you a couple of them. The first one is about a little girl. Her name was Annabelle Beam. She was only 9 years old, and she miraculously survived a 30-foot fall while she was playing with her sisters outside their Texas home. She plummeted inside a hollowed-out cottonwood tree. So they called an emergency helicopter and rushed her to the hospital in Fort Worth, where brain and spinal injury teams prepped for her arrival. But astonishingly, when she arrived, she was unscathed. After the accident, Annabelle described religious visions, they said in this little story, she had while she was unconscious. She says that she met her guardian angel during the incident. She said, I started to wake up in the tree and I could hear the firemen's voices and I saw an angel. The angel looked very small, like a little fairy. And she said the angel stayed with her the entire time in the hole, shining the light so that she could see until she was rescued. Then the angel winked at her and told her, I'm going to leave you now and everything's going to be okay. So I think that's beautiful. I feel like the angel appeared to her as a small fairy, I think, because as a child, maybe a big angel would have scared her. So having a little fairy type body or whatever was comforting for her. The second story is about a woman named Stacy. She was in her mid-20s. She lived in a poor section of Brooklyn, New York, in an area that had many tenement buildings. And one night, Stacy was walking home from work, and she saw a man ahead of her. He was loitering against a building. Stacy had an immediate feeling of fear. And there had been recently some muggings in the neighborhood, and she sensed that this man was up to no good. But she had no choice. She had to walk by him as the only way to her apartment. So Stacy prayed, guardian angel, protect me. Be right beside me now and save me from harm. And with an outwardly confident stride, she looked straight ahead and she went right by the man. She could feel him looking at her, but he did nothing. And it was all she could do to stop from breaking into a run. With her heart pounding, she finally managed to walk calmly around the corner and then ran to her apartment, locked the door behind her. And it took her a while to calm down because she felt she had escaped great danger. A short time later, Stacy heard police sirens and looked out her window and saw flashing red lights. Something was going on nearby, either an accident or a mugging. The following day on her way to work, she ran into a neighbor and she said, what was all the excitement last night? And the neighbor said, a rape. The woman told her grimly just after 6 o'clock. Stacy's mouth dropped open. The rape had occurred at the very spot where she had passed the loitering man just before 6 o'clock. What if he was the rapist? She'd gotten a good look at him. Perhaps she could help the police with a description. So she phoned the police, and they, however, had already arrested a suspect. And they asked her to come down to do a lineup identifying, the suspect. So they told her, your testimony could help place him at the scene. So she agreed. That night, she identified that man as the man she passed on her way home. And she said to the policeman, why did he attack me? After all, I was just as vulnerable as the next woman who came along. The policeman was curious as well, and he described Stacy to the suspect and asked if he remembered her. Stacy never forgot the answer. He said, I remember her, but why would I have bothered her? She was walking down the street with two big guys on either side of her, which is pretty cool. Okay, just another story is about a woman named Lily Leonardi. And this might be unbelievable to some, but she was a former FBI officer. She did retire early after having suffered post-traumatic stress syndrome or disorder from the aftermath of September 11th. And so what happened with Leonardi is when she went to the site of the crash in Pennsylvania of United Airlines Flight 93. When she arrived there, she saw legions of angels. And she was struck by that. She was so startled, she kept it to herself out of fear that her co-workers might think she lost her mind. She says she saw shimmery lights, and it was kind of misty, and that's when I first saw the angels there. She said, I didn't say anything to the guys because you can imagine what would have happened. If I said, hey, I just saw angels on this crash site, they would have called the office and said, she's lost her mind, she needs to go home. But this agent says they were dressed as if they were in warrior garb like centurion Romans. She said, there were so many of them, you couldn't see their faces. She continued to see the flickering lights and each angel that was guarding the crash site. Her hope in sharing this story is that people would know that God and his legions of angels was present on September 11th. And my last story, and then I will wrap it up, is about a missionary who was on furlough, and he told this story while visiting his church in Michigan. He said, while serving at a small field hospital in Africa, every 2 weeks I would travel by bicycle through the jungle to a nearby city for supplies. There was this journey took 2 days, and it required camping overnight at the halfway point. On one of these journeys, this man arrived at the city, and he planned to collect money from the bank and purchase medicine and supplies, and then begin the 2-day journey back to the field hospital. Upon arrival at the city, he observed 2 men fighting, and one of whom was seriously injured. He said he treated them for his injuries, and at the same time, he talked to them about the Lord. I traveled then he says, for 2 days, camping overnight, and arrived back home without incident. 2 weeks later, he repeated the journey, and upon arrival in the city, he was approached by the young man he had treated. He told me he had known I carried money and medicines, and he said, some friends and I followed you into the jungle. Knowing you would be camping overnight, we had planned to kill you and take your money and drugs. But just as we were about to move into your camp, we saw 26 armed guards surrounding you. At this point, the missionary laughed and said, I was certainly all alone in the jungle campsite that night. The young man pressed the point. He said, no, sir, I was not the only person to see the guards. My friends also saw them, and we counted them. It's because of those guards that we were afraid and left you alone. Now, at this point in the story, in the church, one of the men in the congregation jumps up to his feet and interrupts the missionary, and he asked him if he could tell him the exact day this happened. The missionary told the congregation the date, and the man that interrupted him told this story. He said, on the night of your incident in Africa, it was morning here, and I was preparing to play golf. I was about to putt when I felt a strange urge to pray for you. In fact, the urging of the Lord was so strong, I called some men in the church to meet me here in the sanctuary and pray for you. Would those men please stand up? And the men stood up and had met together and prayed. And the missionary looked at them and started counting them. And he realized he saw 26 men. And so it just is incredible that these men that prayed for him to protect him, and I believe, those were angels that were surrounding this man from attack. Okay, so the last thing is some more guidelines. You have them in your handout, and they are available online. In guidelines for asking for help from your angels, okay? So the first one is be playful. God wants us to enjoy ourselves. Life is not meant to be hard or a test. We are to be joyful. A couple of months ago, I think it was sometime last year, I talked on joy. Remember, we're only playing a role here, right? We're just an actor, like in a play. And we're also the director. We've got both hats to wear. We can control what comes next in our lives. And even with life's challenges, we can find joy in our performance. Number 2, be grateful. I mentioned this before. Have an attitude of gratitude. I love that. Having an attitude of thankfulness brings us joy. And when we're grateful, we change our vibration and we attract more blessings. Look for evidence all around you that God and the universe is conspiring to give you all that you desire. Number 3, intend for the highest good. Keep your intentions pure. Request that whatever comes be for the highest good and the greatest good, and not just for yourself, but all concerned in the situation. Number 4, get into the feeling. Feel what you want. You must find what your heart truly desires, then put that into feelings. I also follow Abraham Hicks. I'm not sure if you guys know who that is. It's Esther Hicks channels this very knowledgeable being called Abraham, and he talks about that. Feel what you want beforehand, then you can ask for it. Concentrate on it. And for example, if you want more money, instead of saying, I want more money, it's because then you're talking about lack, that you don't have the money. Instead, ask that you have pleasure and ease while paying your bills and a feeling of security and financial freedom. And then number 5 is have faith. Know it's going to happen. Ask and stay in the state of happy expectancy. Faith and knowing are what miracles, make miracles happen. Faith makes all things possible. Believe it and you'll see it, as they say. 2 more. Number 6, stay unattached. After we clearly ask for what we want, we must let it go. Don't be attached to the income. Sometimes when we get attached to the income, it can limit what actually is going to happen. Remember, God has a much higher perspective than we do. Let it and God and the universe and your angels create for you beyond, our limited imagination. And then last but not least, be patient. We must learn to be patient. Source or God will align things in perfection, knowing that divine timing is impeccable. So I hope I gave you some things to think about, and you realize all the love and help from our angels and guides that surrounds us. Take it into meditation. Ask for your guardian angel to reveal himself to you and be open to what you might hear. Follow the steps I mentioned and see what they bring you. And so now I have a little meditation that might help you connect. So if you guys would relax in your seat, close your eyes. We're going to bring our awareness inwards. I want you to slowly disconnect from the outside world. We're going to let go of the sounds of the room. We're going to become more and more internally aware of your breath. Relax your body. Relax your hands. And take a nice deep breath in, and we're going to let go of any tension, any sensation of tightness. Just relax one muscle at a time. Scan your body, head to toe, and send warm, soothing energy of relaxation where it's needed. And now, on the screen of your mind, visualize a beautiful garden temple. I want you to see as many details as you can. See the grass around it, the flowers around the temple, the beautiful clear sky. See the golden doors, windows, and stairs leading up. As you walk up the stairs, I want you to look at the front door and see the writing on the front door. It says the word angel. Your angel lives here. Your angel is waiting to see you. Open the door and go in. Now you're in angelic space, a space of incredible beauty and light. And now before you, you see a beautiful figure. Your angel is approaching to see you and greet you personally. See them just right in front of you. Feel the joy and the sensations of peace, kindness, compassion, and caring. Feel that envelop around you. Understand that your angel has been taking care of you for your whole entire life. Your angel has always been there for you. Now reach out to your angel and express your love as well. Feel it lift your heart. Feel it expand your heart. Show them just how much you love them back. Maybe you want to hug them or hold them in your arms. Feel that immense gratitude in your heart. Now, you might want to ask your angel for a message or a number sign that you can see and remind you of your angels. Then you might see repeated numbers showing up in your life. Keep it safe in your heart when you hear that. Now, ask your angel a question. Anything you need to know now, ask. Visualize the angel touching your heart, and you instantly receive your answer. And you now know what to do. So every time you need to ask your angels a question, connect with your heart, knowing that all the answers lie in your heart, and you always know what to do. Trust that. And now thank your guardian angel for this wonderful meeting. Tell them to come back, to visit you in your dreams, to visit you in moments when you need help and guidance, in moments when you feel lost. Your angel will appear to let you know just how much you are loved and supported and cared for. And you have nothing to be afraid of when angels are by your side. And now, with a grateful heart, you're going to leave the temple, back down the stairs, past the beautiful flowers, back onto the grass, onto the path. And now I want you to slowly begin to bring your awareness back here. Let go of the image and come back to me. And we'll take a nice full breath. Exhale and open your eyes. God bless you all. All right. And now, if our usher would come forward, we'll prepare for our offering. So I just want to thank you for your offerings. They are, as Reverend Bob says, what keeps us going. Your donations really do help us. As you saw, we painted the building. Hopefully we'll do some new roof work. If you want to pay, you can go online. You can go onto our website and donate through the website at unityorlando.org, through PayPal, or you could use a credit card or Zelle. Let's see, Zelle is done through your phone. You have to use Unity Orlando's email, which is, I hear it every week. It's, unityorlando@gmail.com if you want to use Zelle. Also, you can donate in person here, or you can call Linda and arrange for payments. I thank you for your offering. Okay, so our statement is, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. And now I'm going to turn it over to Brian.
wonder, abundance here to conjure, right here in my reality. All channels are open wide now, I'm in the flow of light now, my faith in all eternity. I shine my light, and all the darkness leaves us. I live in prosperity. I shine my light, Spirit lives and moves through me now, and all the world can sing with me. I shine my light. Grateful am I to wonder, all-knowing Spirit guidance, right here in my reality. All channels are open wide now, I'm in the flow of light now, my faith in all eternity. I shine my light, and all the darkness leaves us. I live in prosperity. I shine my light, Spirit lives and moves through me now, and all the world can sing with me. I shine my light. When light seems to leave us and darkness overtakes us, doesn't seem a possibility. Our channels are open wide now, we're in the flow of light now, within our faith eternity. I shine my light, and all the darkness leaves us. I live in prosperity. I shine my light, Spirit lives and moves through me now, and all the world can sing with me. I shine my light. I shine my light. I shine my light. I shine my light.
Ah, thank you. Thank you, Brian. And the whole group. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's okay. Well, thank you for being here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for supporting Unity Orlando. Next week, Reverend Bob will be back, and he will be speaking on the path of the mystic. He's got a new series coming up, so I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. All right, so if you would all stand, we're going to pray the prayer for protection. And we say, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is, and all is well. God bless you all.